Hotels, going live for that show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. Hope all is well. Yeah, I got me a new little intro for the On Air with Russell of Hotels too. You like the little jingle going on? Uh, oh man, so yeah, so great day. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, July 1st. Man, did we go through June pretty quickly? I mean, summer's almost over, isn't it? Right? It's already July. So anyway, happy birthday to my best friend Thomas White. We call him Big Father. We call him Thomas Big Father White. Okay, so happy birthday to him. He grew up in Blythe with me as well. Okay, so we grew up together, known each other since we were like 3 years old. Okay, who can say that? Unless you're true siblings, right? But no, his birthday's today, so just quick shout out to him. Although he doesn't watch the show, he probably doesn't know I even do a show. I don't even know if he knows, right? I think I may have mentioned to him, but he may not even know. But hey, if you happen to see him in your everyday travel, just say, hey, Russell gave you a shout out to about your birthday today. So anyway, that is it. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, the hotels that I will show today will be all about Discover Coronado. Okay, I did a fam trip. That's the thing about content. When you create enough content, you can go on for days or weeks and months. So I created this content about a month ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago I was there. But I've been showing it ever since, right? So the content from Discover Coronado's fam trip is still living. So that's the thing about content. If you create enough good content, it can last a long time, right? You use it strategically, you put it here, you put it there. Next thing you know, it's been like 2 months and you're still using the same content. So that's what it's all about, right? So it's all about creating content and then using that content to your advantage, or the advantage of, in this case, Discover Coronado. Because I appreciate being invited to these particular things like a fam trip or a site tour or whatever it is. So I appreciate it, and I show my appreciation by showing those hotels. So you may not have even known about Discover Coronado, or some of the hotels, and the three hotels that will be highlighted will be the Hotel Del Coronado, the Marriott in Coronado, and the Lowe's in Coronado. Okay, so those are the three major hotels in Coronado. Okay, just in case you did not know, which is just minutes from downtown San Diego. So there you go. Anyway, let me turn on the comments. The comments are on. I'm live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. So you can be on LinkedIn, you can make comments, but they will not be in real time. Okay, you can put them there, and after the show, I'll go back and look, and if there's comments, or questions, I will, get to those after that. But on YouTube, you can go there right now, subscribe to my channel, bing, hit the little button. Once you type in, whatever, hit the little button and it'll go bing. And anytime I go live on YouTube, you get a notification. And that's what it's all about. You get a notification that I'm going live, and you know when I'm going to go live, and you can just tune in from there, right? Well, you can make comments in real time. So go ahead and make those in real time, and they'll pop up on my screen, and I'll put them on they'll pop up on my screen, and I'll put them on the screen. And then that way the whole world can see them. I can share them with the world. So there you go. So, okay. All right. I think I said it. Did I say enough? I don't know. Did I miss something? I don't know. I've been, I've been going through some stuff, but I don't have to, bore you with that right now. But I've been going through some good stuff and some not so good stuff, right? But the good stuff always is always going to outweigh the bad stuff that you're going through. So I don't know if I can say it right now. I don't know, but let's just say North Star Meetings Group, and a partnership. Is that about right? North Star Meetings Group and a partnership with Russell of Hotels. Let's leave it at that right now. Kind of tease you a little bit, right? So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna leave it right there until everything is taken care of. But I did have a meeting with some people with North Star Meetings Group yesterday, and it was a great meeting, and it had to do with conversations. Let's just say that. I'm gonna just tease you a little bit. It has to do with conversations and branding. Conversations, branding, or creating brand awareness. Let's just say that for now. Let's just say that for now. So anyway, we'll move on. Somebody's gonna ask me some questions later, but that's fine. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So just in case you did not know, just in case you did not know, I don't know why I ended up putting this in the bathroom. I don't know, but this is the bathroom at the Hotel Del Coronado. I don't know. You know, sometimes you got to think about stuff before you put it on there. Yeah, and I went through this probably about 10 times before I went live, right? And, sometimes you want to strategically place photos in, appropriate positions, right? But anyway, it is what it is. I can't change it now. Okay, so anyway, top 50 podcasts in hospitality. Oh, man. So top 50 podcasts in hospitality, top, I want to say 100 influencers in hospitality. That'd be me. That'd be me. So just in case you did not know that, yeah, I'm one of those, and you can find this on my LinkedIn page and all that stuff. And but I always want to make sure I showcase it here on the show because one, this is my show. Two, you may not have known that I'm one of the top 50 or this podcast on air with Russell of Hotels. Show number 303, I may throw in there, is one of the top podcasts in hospitality for 2025. So if you were to type in Google hospitality podcast you should watch or you should listen to, go ahead and do that, and I'll pop up there somewhere in Google. I'll pop up there, so that's a good thing. And then also top 100 influential. I want to say it's top 100, top something, top 100 influential social media influencers in hospitality as well. So yeah, two categories, not just one category, two categories. So I appreciate the International Hospitality Institute for that distinction. I mention this every time I do a show because you may not know about it, right? So if you don't know, it's up to me to let you know. So maybe it's my fault that you don't know. I don't talk about it enough, but hey, I'm talking about it today. So there you go. That's why I devoted one page to that. Okay, it just happens to be in the Hotel Del Coronado bathroom, but that's okay. As long as it's being said, that's all that matters, right? Oh man, there's a lot going on. Just a lot going on. But this is the Marriott Coronado or Coronado Marriott. Sometimes I get mixed up on the names, but Marriott and Coronado are in the official name of the hotel, right? So, and they have a pickleball court too. I forget to show those photos, but they have a I want to say they have like 8 pickleball courts there. So if you're in pickleball, maybe you have a group that's interested in doing some, group bonding. And pickleball is I had never played pickleball before, but now I'm seeing what the rage is because I can see myself out there playing pickleball and being competitive and trying to beat everybody in my company. So if you're looking for like a group, a team activity, I think pickleball is good, right? Especially if you got that competitive spirit. So make sure you got people that are competitive, because some people are competitive, some people are not. Okay, well, I'm one of those that is competitive, are competitive, one of the two. And I ain't trying to lose, right? So I'm gonna go out there and do what I can, but you got to be dressed appropriately, okay? Because we did a little, they gave us um, a little pickleball experience, or kind of explained pickleball and demonstrated it and let us go out there and do it as well. But I wasn't dressed appropriately for that. I don't think anyone was dressed appropriately. And when I get to sweating and I'm not dressed, and if I had sweats on and I'm out there getting a workout, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm out there, I'm gonna go all out and all that stuff, right? I gave it about 30 minutes until I started sweating, and I'm like, you know what? Perspiring, maybe not sweating, perspiring, on my brow and all that. I'm like, you know what? Enough's enough. Let me go sit down. So I would say about 30 minutes, after 30 minutes. But I can see the competitive juices. I can see that if I was in it for the long haul, meaning I had my sweatsuit on, or some sweats or whatever, I'd have been out there. I'd been going for it, okay? And I wouldn't have lost, okay? I can tell you that now. So anyway, but I don't know why I said that, and there's no picture of pickleball. But anyway, you got the gist of what I was talking about. Let's move on. So the blog, and this is actually my room at the Lowe's Coronado, okay? So this wasn't part of the tour. This was actually my room, and you can see the the view of the bay. And if you look a little closer, you can actually see the bridge, the Coronado Bridge that comes over from San Diego to Coronado, or in this case, from Coronado to San Diego. You can see it, the Coronado Bridge right there. You just take a look like, oh my God, he's right. I can see it. That is dope. So, but anyway, the blog. So anything that I talk about is on my blog. All you have to do is go to russellofhotels.com, hit the blog section or blog category, blog drop down, hit it, and it'll go bing. And you go like, oh my God, what does that mean? Bing. Okay. Oh, that's the blog. All the information is there. It'll be there forever. So even past conversation or past topics that I've had will be on there. Today's topic is already on there, right? I already did that this morning. So we're caught. We're ready to go. So I'm trying to, stay ahead of the game these days instead of catch up. I'm trying to stay ahead of the game when it comes to updating the website, updating the blog, and all that kind of stuff. So especially if I'm talking about something, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm talking about. I don't want you writing notes and all that, because some people will write things down like, what does he say? What did he say? And instead of, well, the easiest thing would be is to go back and listen to it on a replay, but some people don't. I get it. But all you have to do is go to my website, Russell of Hotels. I say it so fast sometimes people are like, Russell Hotels? No, it's russellofhotels.com. So make sure you do that. Go to the blog. Any topic that I have talked about, that I will talk about, anything that I think is important to put on the blog will be there, along with everything else is on our website, like how I got started, who I am, why I do what I do, all that kind of stuff. It's on there as well. So feel free to check it out at your leisure, okay, your leisure. So there you go. So anyway, let's get into it. Let me make sure my iPad is on. And of course, it's almost out of juice, so I gotta talk fast. It's almost out of juice. It's almost out of juice, yeah. No, it's not. Well, it's about 12%. I think that's enough to get through. So what's the topic for today? You know what? Hotel site selection. It's not about you. It's about the client. Should it always be like that? I mean, should we already know that? Sometimes we know that and then we don't act on it. And what I mean by we, I mean our hotel partners, okay? Sometimes our hotel partners don't take things as serious as they should, meaning, are they doing their homework before we come there? Do they know a little bit about us? It's not about what you want to show, it's about what's going to work for the program. And sometimes we have to do our homework to see what past programs, we did, they did, or whatever. And that way we can set things up, accordingly. Okay. And I'll give examples along the way, because I've been in a lot of, site inspections, site tours, where the hotel salespeople or whatever should have known what I wanted to see. Because sometimes it's a show of, I want you to see everything that we have. Now, I don't need that. And I may be on a time crunch, right? I don't have time to see, all 1,300 rooms that you have and all 477,000 square feet of meeting space. And I'm just using that as an example, okay? Now, if I say I want certain things, well, I only want to see certain things. Because I have this one group, before I get into this, I have this one group that they're not interested in outside activities, okay? So we can care less what's going on in the town. That's on their own after the thing is over or before they show up to that hotel, right? This client does not care about that. They're not going to have activities. They're not going to play pickleball. They're not going to do that. They just come in, they focus on what their conference is about, and they leave, okay? So I know this because I've been to them. I've talked to the client extensively. They only want hotels that have a limited amount of stuff or distractions, because that's a detriment to them. Too many distractions is a detriment to this particular group. A group that maybe, I don't know if any other group like this even exists, right? It's not corporate, okay? It's not association. It's kind of on the education. It could be kind of Smurfy, but Smurfy. You guys get what I'm saying. I just had to laugh. It can be kind of Smurfy, but it's a different kind of Smurf. I can't really explain it until I have this group come to your hotel, right? Then I'll explain it then. But even when I explain it, and I've been to trade shows and conferences or whatever, trying to explain this group, they still come at me with, oh, well, they can do this. And I said, no, no. I said, you're not understanding what I'm saying. They do not want that. Okay, they do not want that. They need the space. They want to eat 3 meals a day. Okay, they're gonna eat those meals in this space. Um, they don't want any outside activities. They're not gonna go swimming. They're not gonna do any of that stuff. Okay, unless it's a pre. If they happen to go there pre or post, right? But that's something totally different. We're talking about the days of the meeting only, right? And they may do some other stuff on their own before they get to that hotel, but they're not going to do it during the 3 days that they're having a meeting, or 3 to 5 days that they're having a meeting, because they have to be focused on this, on the subject matter, and the subject matter is really heavy. Okay, it's a heavy subject matter, and they concentrate on that. And a lot of people will say, well, they need a release. Well, no, they don't. This is what they're asking. So my job as a hotel site selection is to listen and to deliver what the client is telling me. The hotel salespeople is to deliver on what I'm asking them to, because I'm speaking for the client, right? This is what the client wants. This is what the client needs. Okay, can you do this? Can you deliver that? I don't need all the bells and whistles, okay? So sometimes we just have to listen, and we have to do our homework first before we even respond to anything. So anyway, I'm going to go through all that, but I just want to give that example first because, I experience this, like almost all the time. I experience it with this one particular group. People don't get it. They don't listen. And guess what happens? They normally don't choose that hotel. The ones that don't listen, they don't choose the hotel because they get caught up in their own glory. Oh, I want to show them this. I want to show them we got a new this, a new, no, they don't want to do that. They eat as a group with the group. They don't want to eat in a restaurant. They want to eat as a group within that meeting space. That's what they do, right? All their meals are there within that meeting space. So you have a captive audience, but not so captive that they're going to go to the gym or, oh, there's a spa. You need them to go there. They're going to be swimming. No, they don't. Sorry. I wish they did, but they don't. They just don't do it. They don't do it. So anyway, the topic for today, once again, I go off on tangents every now and then, but then there you go. Hotel site selection. It's not about you. It's about the client. Mm, So this is okay, what is this photo right here? Okay, so that's like I guess that's a flamingo? Yeah, I guess a flamingo. So this is during the this is during the fam trip in Coronado, right? And they see this. We're walking out from, I think, from the pickleball courts, and we're walking towards the van or the shuttle that's going to transport us to the next location. And there's this person sitting there, or I guess it's a person. I mean, there's this object or this creature or something, a flamingo, standing there with their handler. And of course, I guess it's there, for people to walk up and take pictures with, or take a photo with. And there you go. And that's exactly what happened, right? So the people that were with us during the fam trip, those are all planners right there, right? So they wanted to take a photo in front of the pink flamingo. And the funny thing, right next to that, there's a pond. You can't see it. To the right of there is a pond with flamingos in it. So there you go. So no other way, no better place for that flamingo to be than with his own brethren, which is right swimming right there. I was expecting him or her to jump in there and, start swimming too. You know what I always wanted to do? And I don't know if it's too late for me to do this, but I've always wanted to be like a mascot, like that right here. You dress up in some type of outfit or costume or whatever, not just for Halloween, right? No, as like at a sporting event or something like this. So anyone out there that has like a mascot for their hotel or for their convention and visitors bureau, and you want to dress them up like that, like something like that, I would do that. I would do that. Oh, no, you got to pay me. It's not going to be for free, but I've always wanted to do that. I don't know why that is, but I've always wanted to dress up like I watch, the football games, baseball games, and they have, what I would inspire me, like you remember the San Diego Chicken back in the day? And I may be dating myself, but as a kid, there was this San Diego Chicken. He would just do all these antics during the games, and they never talk, right? They always act out and mess with people. That's what I wanted to do. From that day on, I said, you know what? I want to be like the San Diego Chicken. Look it up. Google San Diego Chicken. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But every time I see a character like this, I'm like, I wish that was me. Always. I don't know why it is. And I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but it's true. It's so true. Anyway, I took down my comments, right? Okay, why did the comments go down? Okay, well, I haven't got any comments yet anyway, but for whatever reason, it disappeared. Okay, number one. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. In hotel site selection, the focus should always be on the client's goals, not in fact, let me change this because that's on the other side and I can't really see that. In hotel site selection, the focus should always be on the client's goals, not the hotel's features. Yet too often, hotel salespeople default to showing off the prettiest parts of the property without understanding what the group actually needs. Site selection is about alignment. You ever heard of that? Site selection is about alignment, not just availability. It's about finding the right hotel or venue for the right experience. That only happens when the sales professionals do the work before the pitch and center the conversation around the client. That's what it always should be that. So number one, listen first, sell second. The most effective site selection starts with one thing: asking better questions. Let's ask questions. And during the, I go to a lot of trade shows, and I know I mentioned this all, and you do one-on-one appointments or whatever. Ask the right question. Don't start off when we're doing those one-on-one appointments. Find out about me. Do you know about me? Do you know anything about me? Let's talk about that first before we start talking about, so what groups do you have for me? I get that too many times. I sit down and before I even get comfortable, what do you have for me? What groups do you have coming here? And a lot of times I may not. I may be just fact finding, okay? Well, find those things out. Well, find out about me, who I represent, or what companies or organizations or different type of meetings that I represent before we can get to that. But first, find out about me. So, hey, you're from Los Angeles? Do you live there now? Do you work out of Los Angeles? Whatever. Are you from there? Find out about the person in front of you first before you start going off and saying, hey, you have a meeting. What meetings do you have? And a lot of times there's enough information out there where or you should know who our clients are or who we represent. So listen first, sales second. I don't need another sales pitch. I've been a director of sales and marketing. I've been a sales manager. I've been all that. I don't need to be a sales pitch at that point, especially in a situation like that. Okay, so let's just remember that. And a lot of people feel the same way. I'm just one of the few that has a platform that can tell you that, right? So just listen first. Okay, so listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. So yeah, listen first, sell second. The most effective site selection starts with one thing: asking better questions. Before pitching your ballroom or rooftop, ask this question: what does success look like for your group? And that's a decent question, right? And remember, these questions or all these things I'm talking about are on my blog. You don't have to write these things down. You don't have to commit them to memory. They're already there. So just go to the blog and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Even all the stuff the added stuff that I'm talking about is all there. Before pitching your ballroom or rooftop, ask, what does success look like for your group? That's a good question, right? What's the overall goal of this meeting or event? No one ever asked me that. What is the objective of this meeting? Why are you meeting here? Why do you want to do this? Why are they doing this? What is this group all about? Ask those questions. Believe me, most planners will be like, they'd be like, if you start asking those questions, they'll just be putty in your hands. They'll be like, oh my God, they actually asked me the right questions. That's what they'll do. They'll melt. They'll melt in the seat. Okay. So ask those questions. What does success look like for your group? What's the overall goal or objective for this meeting or event? No one has ever asked me that. Did I say that already? Okay, no one has ever asked me that question. Ask that question. No, not just to me, of anybody that sits across from you. Um, ask that question of a meeting planner or hotel site selection person. Okay. Oh boy, this is a good one. When hotels assume what a group needs without asking, they risk becoming irrelevant to the RFP. So even before you send out an RFP, you receive an RFP and you're starting to send out a proposal. Before you get to that point, you need to have done your homework. You can't just send out. You shouldn't. I'm gonna say this, but sometimes I know we get so busy and all this, and all the RFPs started look the same. Well, they're not the same, right? Okay, start looking at them for what they are. They're individual groups, individual companies, organizations, or whatever, right? So treat them accordingly. I mean, do you treat everyone the same? Well, maybe sometimes you should, but no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't treat everybody the same, right? You should treat everybody, you should know what they're looking for. What are their needs and wants? One thing that may upset me may not upset someone else. So I'm not the same as everybody. So you can't treat me like everybody else, right? Or anyone else. I can't treat those 5 or 6 ladies. Was it 5 ladies right there? I cannot treat them the same because each one of them are individuals. They're different. They have different experiences, different lives. Everyone's different. So you cannot treat every RFP the same. You cannot, and you shouldn't. Whew, man. Example, a group might not need an elaborate banquet. What they really need is 10 breakout rooms close to guest rooms and lunch that accommodates food sensitivities. Have we asked those questions? Those are questions we need to ask, right? What do you need? What does this meeting look like? First of all, have they done this meeting before? Can I get, basically a whole schematic of what you did before? And a lot of times they will give you that. I want that. A successful meeting looks like this. They need 10 breakout rooms that are close to the guest room. Do you have that? Maybe you don't. If you don't, that's fine, but let them know what you do have. I don't have that, but I can do this. Okay, so those are the things. And no one wants to say no, but sometimes you do. You have to say this, and we do not have that, but always an option, right? We don't have that, but we can do that. Okay, and yeah, we chef, as far as food sensitivity, yeah, we make sure, we got free, we got those non-meat eats, like vegan eats, like me, for me, right? You got that? So, I mean, all these different things, if your chef can do it, and if they've done it in the past, make sure you talk about it. Make sure you brag about it. But if he cannot do it, but he's willing to learn, let them know, or bring the chef in on it. If you know that food is a big deal for these particular groups, bring the chef in, because I want to know exactly what the chef can do, what he or she is comfortable with doing. Because if they're not comfortable and food is a big aspect of that meeting, guess what? We got to go somewhere else. And that's okay. That is okay. It should be okay for you. I know sometimes we put a lot of effort into these things, and sometimes it doesn't go our way. Well, guess what? You're not going to get 100% of the stuff that's presented to you. It's just not going to happen, right? So there you go. But it's better to be honest with and upfront with a client than not, because you're looking for a long-term commitment from a meeting planner or a company or organization. You're not looking for a one-off. I'm looking for to build a relationship, because, like I said, I don't know if the client's going to want to come back or not, but I know if you don't put your best foot forward and the client is not pleased, they won't come back. So everything should be like, I want the repeat business. I want the next meeting as well. That's how we should get in the groove of that, right? We need to get that business initially, and then every business after that, right? If we don't get it, okay, that's fine. Maybe they go north and south, east or west, whatever. Every other year they alternate. That's fine. But your goal is to get it every single time, not just one time, every single time. Number 2, it's critical that hotel salespeople do their homework. I've been saying that. Salespeople need to research the client before the call, before the tour, before the proposal. Are you kidding me right now? Yes, they do. Know the basics. What kind of organization is it? What events have they hosted in the past? What are their values? Sustainability, is that a big deal? DEI, is that a big deal? Wellness, vegan eats, what's their deal? I need to know. You need to know. If you don't take time to understand your potential client, you're showing them that they're just another lead in your inbox. And no one wants to come across as that. I don't want to be another lead in your inbox that you just went through and forgot to change something, and you're sending me a proposal that has the name of the other organization on because you didn't take it out. I mean, we've all received those, right? We understand you're busy. We understand that. Um, Check out their website, review past events on social media, or even see if they've worked with your comp set. Find that information out. I remember we used to, meeting planners used to ask for history on groups, right? Do we still do that? Do they still do that? I know I'll ask for, as a hotel person, I used to ask for history on groups. I want to know where they met in the past, last 5 years, where have you met? Then that way I know the lay of the land, right? I know if that hotel, our hotels are the same or in comparison. And I can mention those hotels. Oh, I remember you mentioned you had a program at XYZ Hotel. Well, our hotel is actually set up the same way. Our meeting space is on the same floor, just like the XYZ Hotel. We just went through a renovation though, and blah, 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 whatever that is, you make sure you let them know that you've done your homework, and that tells them that you've done your homework. If you start, referencing hotels that they met at 2 years ago, right? So there you go. There you go. Number 3, fit over flash. It's not about showcasing the hotel's greatest hits. It's about presenting what fits the client's needs. A luxury hotel with all the bells and whistles may not be a fit for a youth leadership group, just as a suburban limited service property may not be suitable for a high-level executive retreat. Yeah, know exactly who you're dealing with, okay? Know who you're dealing with. Know who you are as a hotel. You can't do everything. I know we wish we can do, or we want to do everything, and maybe we think we have the capability of that, but sometimes every hotel should not respond to every RFP. I'm just going to say that. Every hotel, just because you receive it, does not mean you need to respond to it. Because sometimes you just don't have a snowball's chance of getting it. But because it comes across your desk, if you do your history or you do your homework on that particular group, you see what hotels they've used in the past. They've used luxury hotels, and I'm a Courtyard, okay? And now I think I can do it because I have the space. I have the availability and I have the space. So why can't I do it? Well, if you know that they've used, nothing like Ritz-Carlton in the last 5 programs, why would you even respond to it? Just let it go. Just turn it down, move on. I mean, that it saves a lot of time on your it saves you a lot of time. Let's just say that. Am I on a roll today? It sounds like I am, but I'm just trying to be honest and upfront with some of the things that I deal with. Not just me, but other people deal with as well. My role as Russell of Hotels, which I do site selection, is to advocate for the right match, not the most glamorous option. So my clients, they hope. I mean, I'm sure that's why they hire me, that I'm thinking like they're thinking, right? So I have this one client that's pretty high end, right? I know which hotels I wouldn't even present to them. Okay, I'm not even going to look at certain hotels. You will never get, if you're not a 4 or 5 diamond hotel, I'm not even going to send you a proposal, because I know for this particular client, they want only high-end properties, and and those high-end properties have to have natural lighting for their meeting space. There's no other way around it. They're not going to take anything else other than that. So I have to continuously look for that. And sometimes they've changed destinations because one destination had hotels that did not fit that criteria. That's all them, right? It has nothing to do with me, but I have to act as the client, right? It's not about me, it's about the client. Even when it comes to me, it's about the client. So I have to represent the client 100%. It's not about Russell of Hotels, it's about Russell of Hotels clients. Okay, that's what I'm representing. That's what they're looking for, and that's what they're expecting me to bring to them in the form of a proposal. So There you go. So even for me, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm not asking the hotels to do anything that I wouldn't do, or that the client's not asking me to do. Four, customization creates confidence. Sales managers who tailor proposals and site tours to the client's actual priorities build confidence. Let me read that again. Sales managers who tailor proposals and site tours to the client's actual priorities build confidence. I love it. Yes, they do. Next one, it says, it shows attention to detail and partnership. Yeah. Even simple touches like referencing the company's mission or noting their past meeting preferences go a long way. That's what you want to do. You can only do that by if you do your homework. You can only do that by doing your homework. Clients want a collaborator, not a presenter. That's number 5. The best hotel salespeople aren't just presenting rooms and menus, they're problem solvers. Everyone has a problem, right? Everyone has a problem, and they're looking for you to solve it. And the person that can solve that problem is going to get the business, okay? That's just how it works. That's just how it works. The best question you can ask a salesperson isn't, when's your program? It's how we can help this be the most successful program you ever had. Let me say that again. The best question a salesperson can ask when's your program. So don't ask that question. You're a salesperson, when's your program? Don't ask that question. Instead of that, ask, what's the most successful program you've ever had? Then that way you're getting them to open up to you. And you're like, oh my God, okay, now I know the lay of the land. Now I know if we can do it or we can't do it. And sometimes we can't do it. And it's okay to say, well, we can't do that because of this, but we can do that. So never throw out something negative without at least trying to turn around and give me something positive. I mean, we can't do that. We may not be able to do that, but we definitely can do this. And go from there. And then that's up to the client, right? It's up to me or whatever, the client, to say, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, all right, let's do it. All right. Hey, Mr. ROH, would you just not respond or respectfully decline and state why you can't work or help them? Me, as a Russell of Hotels, this is a comment from Miss Marsha Edmond. Hey, Miss Marsha Edmond, hello, how are you? It says, Mr. ROH, would you just not respond or respectfully decline and state why you can't work, book, or help them? Yeah, if it's something that's out of the scope of what we can do, you mean as me, as a hotel site selection person, or you talking about a hotel? If it's something that they know, if they've done their homework and they see the history of this particular group where they've gone in the past, yeah, just don't respond, or just say unable to respond at this time. I don't know what the options are, but if it's something that you know you're not going to get, meaning I gave an example, this particular group has always used 4 and 5 diamond hotels, and I'm Courtyard, but for whatever reason, I got the proposal. And sometimes mistakes are right. Mistakes are made, and I get it. But if you see that, why would I waste my time on that? I wouldn't waste my time on it. If I know the last 5 programs have gone to Carlton's, and I'm a Courtyard by Marriott, not that there's anything wrong with a Courtyard. I started my career with Courtyard, okay? But it is a limited service hotel, and that there's only so much we can do. Just respectfully decline and move on. Let it go. Move on to the next thing, because I know you got other stuff to be worried about. So yeah, so I would respectfully decline. I would state, and I wouldn't know, depending on what the options are, I would just respectfully decline. I'm not going to respond to it. No one's going to call you and say, well, why didn't you respond to that? Because I'm a Courtyard. That's why. Well, I'm not going to say that. But, based on past, if you wanted to respond and put something down, based on your past preferences, we respectfully decline. We cannot fulfill your needs. I mean, and that's okay to say that. It's okay to back out of that. So yeah, definitely. Good question right there, Miss Marsha Edmond. I appreciate that. That was a good one. Where am I? Did I finish? Okay, I got one more thing. One more thing. It's the closing line. Okay, so listen to this. Listen to this one. Doing your homework isn't optional. It's what separates average sellers from trusted partners. I'm looking for a trusted partner. I'm not looking for somebody to sell me something. Okay. If you're not focused on the client's mission, then you're just another sales pitch they'll forget. Boom! Can I drop the mic? Drop my mouse. Okay, this is my mouse. I'm gonna drop my mouse. Boom, done. I'm out. So I'm gonna say this one more time because this is a good one. This is a good one. Doing your homework isn't optional, meaning you got to do your homework. There's no other way around it. It's what separates average sellers from trusted partners. We're looking for partners. We're not just looking for one-offs or just someone that just wants to throw something in our face. We're not looking for that. We're looking for partners. If you're not focused on the client's mission, then you're just another sales pitch they'll forget. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. Okay, I see another comment there. Let's put that on there. See, this is what happens. So you're on YouTube. You get your comments on the screen just like this. Just like Marsha Edmond is getting her comments on the screen. That's how you would do. Oh, shoot. What am I doing? Can you see that? I don't think you can see that. You can't see that. Let me put that up there again. I got to move it. I got to move it. Thank you for your expertise and explanation. Oh, of course, Miss Marsha. Thank you for your comment. See, that's how you do it. You do your comments there if you're on YouTube, and then I'll just put them on the screen just like that. The whole world is seeing that, right? And that's what she wanted, the whole world to see it. But that was a good question. Appreciate it. So, hey, so make sure that makes sense. Hopefully that made sense to you. So we're moving on now, okay? So who's hiring? There's a few jobs out there. People are looking for people. People are looking for people. The Hotel Irwin, and these jobs are in the greater Los Angeles area, okay? So if you're in Florida, I'm in Miami. You don't have no jobs in Miami? No, I don't, because I'm not in Miami. So I'm in Southern California. So these jobs are in the greater Los Angeles area, okay? So, man, get out my bag. So Hotel Irwin, they're looking for a senior sales manager. Now, Hotel Irwin is in Venice, okay? They got a rooftop bar and all that stuff. You can overlook the beach and all that stuff. It's kind of cool over there. Not too far from like Muscle Beach and all that. You know, the Venice, you know, that whole Venice scene. It's right in the middle of all that. So if you're a senior salesperson or you're looking to become a senior salesperson, Hotel Irwin, why not check out the Hotel Irwin? Sanborn Autograph Collection, Sanborn Hotel, which is an autograph collection by Marriott. They're looking for a director of hotel marketing and business development. Now that is in Santa Monica. Okay, so Sanborn Hotel Autograph Collection by Marriott, looking for a director of hotel marketing and business development. And then the JW Marriott at LA Live, that's downtown LA, right across from Crypto Arena. They're looking for a senior sales manager. That's a great property. Great property, love it. I want to say it's got to be, that's in the same product. It's a JW Marriott at the bottom, and then a Ritz-Carlton at the top. I want to say it's about 700 rooms total, I believe. Something like that, somewhere around there. And they have a lot of meeting space there too. So great location right there in LA Live. They got Starbucks right across. Hey, you can't beat that, right? You got a Starbucks right there. And they have their own coffee shop inside there as well. And they have a couple of different restaurants inside that hotel. So I love that JW. Every now and then I'll go down there and make it my office of the day. Because you know why? What's the most important thing that someone wants to make a hotel their office of the day? What is the most important thing to that person? They got that free Wi-Fi. There you go. So that's what I'm looking for. Right? I'm always looking for that free Wi-Fi. So there you go. So the jobs. If you're interested, go to Indeed or Hotel.com and you'll be able to find those. Okay. There you go. What time is it? What time it be? Okay, so we're winding down here. We got about 15. We got about 15 minutes. This show On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. So that means here in Los Angeles area or Southern California or the West Coast, it's going to be at 1 o'clock. If you're on the East Coast, you're in Florida, you happen to be in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, that's all East Coast. It's going to be 4 o'clock, okay? You'd be amazed. Some people that I would think they know that, but they're like, I never catch your show. It always says 1 o'clock, but every time I go to look at it, it's never on. I'm like, well, it's not 1 o'clock where you are. 1 o'clock where I am. Oh, come on, people. Anyway, that happens every now and then, and I just shake my head. That's all I can. That's all you can do, right? So anyway, show number 304 will be next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I believe it's next Tuesday. Yeah, I'll be there next Tuesday. Yeah, I'm just looking at my calendar because I do have a trip coming up. I'll let you know when that is. In fact, I got 2 trips coming up. Yeah, the North Star event that I'm going to is going to be August 3rd through the 5th. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Oh, man. And I'll tell you about why it's really going to be good in the next couple of days. Okay, so make sure you stay tuned. Check out the daily check-ins because I'm going to be talking about it there. Okay, so I'm looking forward to it. I just have to make sure I get some things lined up before I just start talking about it. That's it. That's it. But just know that I'll be there and know that it's going to be something epic. Okay, it's going to be something I've never done before and something that has never been done at a North Star meeting or a North Star event. There you go. There you go. Hotel Del Coronado. Remember today it's all about Discover Coronado. I'm showing the 3 major hotels in Coronado area. Hotel Del Coronado, the Lowe's Coronado, and the Coronado Marriott. Those are 3 hotels I'm showing today. So if you just happen to be joining now, go back and look and see. I mean, they're just photos of different hotels. I mean, it can be the bathroom, it can be the beach, it can be a guest room, it can be whatever. So this is their meeting space at Hotel Del Coronado. And they were setting up for a group coming in. So, and this hotel is one of those hotels that stays busy all the time. And they just redid a major renovation. They just finished it this year, 2025. So, I mean, it looks like back in the glory days, right? I remember it back in 1888, you know what I mean, when it first opened. I mean, it looks almost the same, right? You would think that it would change some things, but no, it looks exactly the same as 1888 when it first opened. Oh, man. Man, I'm dating myself now. So anyway, let's see. I'm almost done. Consistency. Why do I put that on there? People are like, why do you put that on there? That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Somebody said that to me. I'm like, what do you mean it's stupid? That's a strong word, stupid. Okay. But no one said that. I just, just to be drama, just to create some drama. I always say stuff like that. But anyway, consistency. There's no way anyone, let alone me, can come to 303 shows or episodes of On Air with Russell of Hotels or any podcast without being consistent. Okay. There's just no way around it. Okay. So, and I started back in 2019. So I only took off maybe about 4 weeks. And that was it. And I don't remember why I had to take off those 4 weeks. I think I was traveling or something like that back in 2019. And it just wasn't, I couldn't do it consistently, or I didn't know how to do it consistently. Now I just take my show on the road. So if I'm somewhere else, I was in Ghana, Africa last year, 2 years ago. I didn't miss a show because there's a time difference. That means I had to stay up later there because I think it was a 9-hour difference. I think there's a 9-hour difference there. I just stayed up later and did it. Made sure I did it at 1 o'clock time, LA time, right, or California time. But I did it from another country, so it didn't matter. I'm gonna continue to do it. When I was in Costa Rica, I did it there. When I was in Spain and France and Morocco, I did it from there as well. You had no idea, unless I mentioned it, that I was still, I wasn't in my home office or at a hotel in the States. No. So I continuously do it. It's all about consistency because why do I say that? Because, these hotels that I showcase, can't be consistent. They don't want to do business with me. They don't want to partner with me. Okay. So if you're interested in partnering, and so you get your brand out there, create that brand awareness that so many hotels need, you're looking for consistency. So even if it's not with Russell of Hotels, look for a company. My advice, look for someone that's being consistent. If you're looking for someone, oh, I need somebody to do this for me. Look at their work. Is it consistent? Are they doing it, when they say they're going to do it? Are they doing it 5 days a week? Rain, sleet, or snow, they're still going to do it. I mean, one thing that I can say, and not a lot of people can say, um, I do this. I've been in this game since 2019. Well, I've actually been in but longer, but the podcast game since 2019. I told you I've done 303 shows, right? And I've done, for the most part, every week. Then I added this thing called a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, which is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Add this one in on Tuesday, that's 5 days a week of me, right? So that's consistency. So if you're looking for someone that will post things consistently on your behalf, look no further. That's all I had to say with that. That's why that word consistency keeps coming up like 5 times, because I need to let people know that I'm as consistent as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Some people don't even know that. But yeah, it does. It does do that. So anyway, this is the last screen. So once again, I just, because this may be the last time I do Discover Coronado for a while, but I want to thank them. Every time I'm always going to think about the last fam trip I was on, right? And the last fam trip I was on was with Discover Coronado. And it's all about the content that you build, right? The content that you make, it starts with taking photos and videos and applying those, right? So I've been doing this on Discover Coronado and the specific hotels, the Marriott, the Hotel Dale, as well as the Lowe's, which are all three in Coronado. I've been doing this for about a month. I've had so much content that I can continue to do it, right? So if you got a month of content, you're cooking with gas. You're ahead of the game, right? So that's what it's all about, right? It's about getting enough content where you can do this for a month. Where anytime I've been doing this so for the last 4 weeks, On Air with Russell of Hotels has almost devoted to doing something for Discover Coronado, something for the Marriott in Coronado, something for the Lowe's in Coronado, and something for the Hotel Dale in Coronado. That's what it's all about. It's all about that consistency. So you go back to the consistency, you see that, but it all starts with creating or getting the content. Yet you have to have the content in order to do it, okay? So there you go. So once again, shout out to Miss Sherry at Discover Coronado. Appreciate you. And any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email. My website, of course, is russellofhotels.com. Any questions at all, any information you're looking for is on my website. My phone number is there. You can reach out any way that you want to reach out to me. Questions, whatever. All you got to do is reach out. I'm here to help, right? That's what I do. I'm here to help. I'm here to assist, every step of the way when it comes to the world of hospitality. So whatever that is, no question is too stupid or dumb, so maybe some of them are. But no, I'm joking. No, they're not. No, they're not. I was joking. So any questions you have, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on every social media platform. So if you want to slide into my DMs, I'm going to slide it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and slide into his DMs. You can do that. You can call me. I'm as accessible as anybody. Everybody's not as accessible, all right? Meaning everybody's not going to just throw out their phone number, their website. My information is there. Slide into my DMs. Instant message me on IG or LinkedIn or TikTok, whatever. I'm on all those platforms. And I use those platforms regularly, okay? So there you go. Because it's all about visibility. I always talk about that visibility, and I'm always going to end the show talking about visibility. Why is that? You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. That's going to be on my headstone. Here lies Russell L. Edmond, Russell of Hotels. He says, you can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. Also, visibility leads to brand awareness. Brand awareness leads to brand excitement, and brand excitement leads to bookings. Because at the end of the day, at the end of that rainbow, the pot of gold everybody wants, right? And that's bookings. And bookings equals revenue, which dollars and cents, right? So if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So that's what everybody's looking for, right? But it all starts with visibility. If you're not visible, I mean, I'm sure there's some hotels that will do well, you think it's the long term or whatever, but every hotel gets to a point where they forget about them. They get complacent and people forget about them. That's any business, right? But I'm talking about hotels, and destinations, because that's where that's my life, right? So you don't want to even get to that point. So reinforce whatever your marketing efforts are with being more visible. So all about creating that brand awareness. And remember this, the brand starts with you. A lot of people get caught up in, oh, I'm representing this brand. They think they're buying the brand. Okay. If I contact Discover Coronado, I'm contacting Sherry. Okay. Because just contacting that mermaid is not going to do anything for me. The mermaid on, if you see the thing right here, the logo is what I'm talking about, right? That's not going to do anything for me. All right. But if I contact Sherry, she's the one that can help me with everything. She's the one that's going to point me in the right direction. So I'm buying Sherry because I know her, because I know she invited me on the fam trip. I know she knows what she's doing. So that's the person that I'm calling, because she was visible to me. So she created that brand awareness, because I didn't know a lot about Discover Coronado until she invited me to this fam trip. I'm like, okay, because I do need to learn more about Coronado. Maybe I should be selling that over. If I can't get into San Diego, Coronado is a great option. Well, guess what? I kind of forgot about that. So sometimes we're only as strong as the last time we spoke to somebody. So there you go. So that's why Coronado is on my mind now, because I was just there. I've got great content. I've been using that content for the last 4 weeks. And guess what? Now I'll never forget Coronado as an option, okay, or as a viable candidate for a couple of my groups. So there you go. So that's what it's all about. It's about creating that brand awareness that creates, that brand excitement, and then for the brand excitement leads to bookings, and that's what everyone wants, right? So there you go. That's it for it. That's it for me right now. I'll be back tomorrow, because the daily check-ins tomorrow. Just remember, questions, feel free to reach out to me. Email me, Russell at Russell of Hotels, or you can go to my website, Russell of Hotels, and all my information is there. So anyway, until tomorrow, have a great day. Happy Tuesday. And I guess that's it, right? As always, peace.